Hey, a great Tuesday. Is it Tuesday today? Wednesday. A great Wednesday morning. It is a beautiful morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. It's a little bit on the wet side, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think something that Kathy was making mention of yesterday was how you late, sir, and Mary, you be late and me. It's still 9 o'clock. It's not late, right, Judy? It's 9 o'clock. I am actually on time. Now it just turned to 9:01. But something that Kathy made mention of yesterday was how how much we need this rain, this water. So I'm actually grateful for it. So it's actually a good thing. Good morning, Miss Susan.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you good. Hey, how's driving in the rain? Driving in the rain. I'm singing in the rain.
It's actually not raining right now, so I'm good.
Yeah. But we did need the rain. Let me tell you. Last night I went to change to throw out my cat litter at the house, and I didn't know how much it had actually rained until I got all my chanclas all muddy up.
Yeah,
Not a good thing.
I stayed away from it. I stayed away from it. I only had to drive to pick up my son, and that was it. And then the rest. Well, actually, it stopped raining before the forum last night, so that was good.
And on that note, how was the forum last night?
That was interesting to say the least.
It
I
was. Oh
Go ahead.
no, let me tell you. I know this is your first forum with the Brownsville Police Officers Association. I have been through at least three of them in the past. This one completely different.
Really? How
Complete.
so?
Uh, Before when I before when we used to go in, I'd walk in and I feel like they were like, oh, here's this guy again. You know, I had that sentiment before. Last night I was going like, oh, there's this guy here today, and I started to pick up on it early. But once the forum started, I was kind of on the skeptical side in regards to how it was going to actually, be because we weren't going to have any questions and answers. So I was kind of on the skeptical side, going like, how the heck is this going to work? But I did. I don't know if you noticed, but I did the Trump thing. I said,
Well, I go ahead.
I'm going to sit right in the smack middle of all this mess.
Yeah, you were the first one that stood up. That's for sure. I think that I think that they were trying to prevent a real debate there because I think the sentiment of everybody in Brownsville right now is that they're being gypped, right? They're being taken advantage of. They're upset. They're tired. They're ready for change. And since there is current leadership there with the new people that want to get into office and change things, they know that there's a lot of tension there. And especially with the police department, I mean, they've really been drugged through the mud, and very recently. So every wound that they have is very fresh, and I think they just tried to prevent. They were trying to prevent an ugly debate going on there. By the way they had it set up.
I think so, but they were not quiet. You know,
Oh no.
they were not quiet. They were pissed, pissed with a capital P, and rightly so, Susan. They were pissed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They have every right to feel every feeling that they have. is unbelievable. I mean, I knew kind of what was going on, but then last night I found out more, and it's inconceivable that they are doing what they're doing with their insurance and their retirement. I mean, these are the people we should be taking care of the best,
Well,
and we're not doing it.
well, it seems, Susan, this is crazy, but every little event that we've had, or every little opportunity to speak that we've had, it's like it's like another layer starts, opening up. It's like all this stuff with PUB and everything else. Because let me tell you, when Manny and I sent him an invite, when Manny had John Cowan on the show, it's another. Once you get them to start talking, Susan, it's like everything starts to fall in place. Because I didn't know, and I try to stay abreast of everything that goes on in the city of Brownsville. I didn't know that we were, on the verge of losing accreditation for the zoo.
Right.
And I'm going like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew it was bad, Susan. I just didn't know it was royally screwed up bad. You know
Yeah.
how
And again,
how devastating would it be for the city of Brownsville, Susan, to get our zoo uncredited?
oh, it'd be horrible. That's one of our main attractions that we should emphasize on to bring more tourism to Brownsville. It's part of that whole district. I mean, you can't lose that. You can't. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have to put some effort and whatever it takes into fixing that and making sure they don't lose the accreditation, and making the zoo what it is, the gem of Brownsville.
Well, again, eye opening, and I was going like, guys, and again, one of the things that I made mention after that statement was it happened under y'all's watch.
Yeah.
In the past 12 years, in the past 4 years, happened under y'all's watch. One of the things that I thought was very, very telling, Susan, there was not one, there was not two, there were not three. There were actually four city commissioners at yesterday's forum.
Yes.
Well, five if you count Brian, because now Brian seems to think that he had something to do with passing the infrastructure thingamajig. But four official sitting city commissioners and one who thinks he is were there last night,
Yeah.
and I think the officers took advantage of the situation to say, y'all lied to us, y'all cheated us, and at the last moment you pulled the rug from under us with our contract. And I didn't know that till last night.
Yeah. Yeah, they were very vocal, and like you said, every right, to be that vocal, and the communication is broken within the city and the leaders, the commission, and the people that we're supposed to protect. The people we're supposed to help. The communication is broken. There is a huge disconnect, and there is just a complete lack of respect for collaboration. And we can't have that kind of stuff going on, because we've already lost trust with PUB and the public, and now you want to lose the trust with the commission, between the commission and like Brownsville Police Department, our fire and EMS. I mean, the morale that they must have when they walk into the commission's court and they know that they're going to be pretty much given no other options other than to do what they say. That's not the way it works.
Well, one of the things that I heard last night was we're tired of the politician talk.
Yeah.
They're done. No more politician talk. Individuals who serve our community, who've been there for 30 years, you know, understand that at a certain point their wages weren't where they needed to be, but because of the benefits, everything was great, okay, acceptable. Because one of the things that I think is really important, Susan, is that our first responders, they have to feel appreciated. They have to feel as if they are an important part of our community, you know, and they haven't
Yeah,
been made to feel that way.
yeah. I think people that are not in the field sometimes have difficulty understanding exactly what we go through. And, during COVID, it was really difficult. It was really, really difficult for us as nurses and home health agencies, EMS, fire, police, emergency rooms, all the hospitals. It's draining. It was. I mean, I'm sure that half of the population and the first responders have PTSD from that because, you know, we were so afraid to go home to our families after we had to take care of patients, and we didn't have, I know that EMS and fire and I doubt that the police department had any options set up by the city where they could stay in hotels or anything like that. Um, but it's those are the people that we really have to take care of after they retire. Their health is not in the best because of what they go through during the field and during active duty, and the fact that they're taking away the insurance for them is just absurd.
Well,
Absurd.
let me tell you, we've learned. I know you've been in contact with a lot of police officers out there. They have for individuals that are retiring from the police force, they retire and they're only giving them 4 years. Well, it depends on how many years you served, but 4 years of insurance coverage after you've retired. I think that's ridiculous. You've got
No,
individuals.
actually, no, actually, I think in 4 years it's going to be completely gone.
Yeah, gone
They're phasing it out completely. No, you don't get 4 years after you retire. You get nothing in
after.
4 years. It's going to be completely phased out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's crazy, Susan. That's
yeah,
crazy. And again, for individuals that have dedicated 30, 40, 20, 25 years to the force, to suddenly be kicked to the curb,
yeah,
what are they supposed to do? One
yeah.
of the things that I think you mentioned this, that and correct me if I'm wrong, that police officers should get have their benefits until they could retire or get medicated, and
Right.
something else that's going to cover them. That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. You know,
Yep.
but I
I
think
think McAllen gives them 10 years. So, in your average retirement age for an active officer that comes off of the field or EMS fire, I'm going to say it's around 55. If they go into a desk job, they may do that, but I mean, like actively in the field, I'm going to say it's probably around 55, somewhere give or take a few years. And so there's no problem with us either doing like a 10-year plan or a plan up to their retirement age. And and again, this doesn't just affect them, this affects their families. And they were very vocal about that last night. They have kids and things, and wives that are sick and need the insurance as well. Not to mention, Erasmo, they did another retro effective thing that the city likes to do. So anybody who is already retired and receiving benefits, they didn't grandfather them in. They're losing the
no,
benefits as well.
and that's unfortunate. And again, I am hoping uh, that the city commission gets the message. Uh, for the city commissioners that are going to remain after May the 6th, I have a hard time believing that anyone that is sitting in the city commission right now is going to have an easy pathway to whatever seat they're looking for, and rightfully so. One of the things that I think Luis just mentioned up here was that Commissioner Tedroa put up a post saying, they deserve a mayor that supports and prioritizes them and their families.
Yeah.
Well, it is very clear that the two sitting commissioners right now that can actually have action on these things do not prioritize the families or the officers.
No, I mean, obviously, I don't know what the actual vote was on that, but But I can tell you that whoever's going to be elected or reelected, they're going to have a task, and I pray and I hope that even if I don't get in, that they fix this, because this is unfair, and this is not something that we should represent as a commission to the most important people that take care of the safety and the lives of our citizens.
But
It is
but the,
ridiculous.
but Susan, with that said, unfortunately, it is not. If we are not elected, it is not going to get fixed because we're going to get another 4 years of the same old stuff, same old individuals, same old folks that continue to be on these boards and committees. Same thing, nothing will change, and we're going to be out there. We're going to be out there screaming our lungs out, you know, speaking at meetings, making halfway decent speeches on your part because you haven't picked up your pens. You know, guys, it's time. And I actually spoke to several officers last night, and I was encouraged by their words, not only during the forum but afterwards. Susan, they told me we're done. It's over. I think what would happen in the past, Susan, a lot of times, uh, the associations of firefighter, police officer, they would, think or want to, endorse a candidate because, hey, well, we'll see if, we're going to trust that you're going to help us out. And I think that they're at a different stance right now. Now we're done. We've been lied to too many times. They've made promises they have not kept, and they only come to pander for votes when it's election time. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if you noticed. Well, we could talk about the only individuals that really truly spoke. You know, were yourself, myself, Gatti, and Dino said some words. I thought his analogy in regards to comparing dealing with our adults like the same way he's going to deal with junior high kids was interesting, and we could talk about that. But what really surprised me was how quiet and in the corner John Cowan was, crouched in the
yeah,
corner, said nothing except for his introduction. I didn't
yeah.
hear
They
him
were
speak.
pretty quiet. Well, I know that they tried to speak up at one of after somebody had spoke, but I guess they weren't loud enough for them to hear it. I mean, like, like I say, we get, or at least I know I do, and Tino made reference to this last night. I'm a loud person, right? And I'm a loud person not because I want to be the loudest yelling person, but if I have a point or I'm protecting someone, I'm gonna make sure I'm heard. And it's not about being aggressive; it's about being assertive. And if I'm passionate, I'm going to speak up. And so I'm not going to sit down and just, be quiet about things. I'm going to take the opportunity to tell them how I feel and what I'm going to do. That's what campaigning is. And so, a lot of the people, the panel last night, I guess they wanted, I don't know if it was they wanted to be respectful or they were waiting for us to get up and stand up so they can piggyback off of it, or what it was. But I'm going to stand up, and I don't care. You can say I'm whatever I am, but I'm going to stand up. It's not a football field. It is a campaign. It is a city that you're going to run. It's not about making touchdowns or first downs. It's about running a city. Get up and do the job.
Yeah, let me say that one of the things that I think that a lot of people tend to do in these forums is like, well, we'll let them speak, and then what you said, we'll pick it back off on or anything. I think what happened in this forum was the sentiment of everyone in the room, police officers and firefighters, and first responders, all first responders, the EMS. Uh, they didn't have questions; they had
No.
statements,
Yes.
and they were hot statements. I mean, they called out their literally bullshit.
Yeah.
Those are their words. Remember, their
Yes.
words
Quote.
were
That was a quote.
a quote: "Tired of the bullshit, no more bullshit," because that's what That's what they've received. Bullshit, bullshit,
Yeah.
and bullshit. And
Yes.
I when he said that, I was like, "Ooh," because it and not to toot my own horn, but they're sounding more like Erasmo Castro and as soon as Rubalcaba, you know, than any other time I've heard them before. They're done, and
Well,
I think
they're hurting. They're hurting, and they have no more trust. And you could tell last night, not only in their statements, but in their facial expressions, in their body language. They were very guarded, and they were grimacing. I mean, I can only imagine what they're going through, right? I mean, I can only imagine someone, and I put myself in that place. If I have a retired police officer and my wife has been just recently diagnosed with cancer, and I know in 4 years I'm about to lose my insurance. That's huge,
huge.
huge. That's such an emotional, draining event, such a burden for them that after serving the citizens of Brownsville for 40 years, 30 years, this is what's going to happen. I just I felt it. Like I felt them last night, and I really empathized with them. And I last night I prayed, and I just hope, God, like, even if it's not me, you know please change this for them, because it's just not right.
It's not right. It is so unfortunate, and I hate to be going, oh, so and so, but I've been saying this for a while to our police officers, to our local first responders, Susan. I've been saying this for years. They're going to come after your insurance. They're going to decimate and destroy your insurance, because one of the things that I learned, we all learned, was okay. We're going to give you this minimal raise. You need
Mhm.
to be happy. And I mentioned this last night. It's the same. It's the same process that they do with the taxes. We're going to cut your
Yep.
taxes, but we're going to raise your appraisal value. So you're screwed. You're still paying more.
Mhm.
This is what happened with their raise. The commission gave them a raise, and then they want you to thank them. Oh, thank you. You gave us a raise, and pat them on the back and vote for them. But then now your dental is coming from your paycheck. No more dental insurance. Premiums are going to go up, and you're going to lose your insurance. So what happens to that minimal raise, Susan? It's
Mhm.
nothing. Insignificant. It doesn't. It doesn't cause a dent in the hurt that they're feeling.
Well, the definition of collective bargaining is not, here's what it is, take it or leave it. And that's where the big break is. I mean, they're supposed to sit down and discuss and give and take to the best interest of the city and the best interest of the Brownsville Police Department. And the same thing with the fire and the EMS. If they're not doing that, negotiating, and they're just saying, hey, I'm the commission, you need to take what I say, then that's not the way it's supposed to be ran. And again, and I go back to what, Captain Bob says a lot, and all of us have been saying, they forget the chart. The chart is not, the organizational chart for the city is not the commission above everybody else.
No,
It is everybody else and then the commission.
100%.
And they forget that. They forget that every single time they sit up there on those chairs. And and I'm making a general statement. I'm not saying, I know that some are in favor and some are not, and everything, everybody votes differently on every agenda item. But the general census of what you get as far as when you're talking to people, and last night in that forum, and then anytime you talk to the EMS, that's the consensus. The consensus is that they're bullies, and they give you one option and one option only. And if you don't like it, well then too bad. And that's really not the way we should. That's not the way. We're all adults. We're all serving the people. We need to fix this.
Uh, and I truly believe that they are tired of the politician talk. And I think
Mhm.
anyone last night that stood up and gave politician talk, it was like when you were hearing uh, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and the teachers talking. because some individuals out there, Gatti was out there speaking, boom, from her heart. This is me. I'm out here. This is me. It's what's gonna happen. What One of her opponents was more like, like a prepared speech type of situation.
Yeah.
Didn't fly. We had Jessica endorse me, please. Endorse me. Can I have your endorsement? I'll take your endorsement, please. Endorse me. And you had John that said nothing. You had Dino that went out there and did football analogy. And, you know,
Tino doesn't leave the field.
but
Oh.
it's not everything is a football field. And he did not do a good job last night. And I think that I'm praying that Police Officer Association makes the right choice, makes a choice that will resound in this community, that will tell everyone what Sam is saying, that people are fed up because you've hurt our pockets, you've heard you've hurt our insurance, you hurt my children, you hurt my wife. You're telling me screw you, so this time around we're telling you screw you by endorsing the candidates that are not necessarily politicians.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a. I mean, I would appreciate the endorsement by far. I mean, it's an honor, but I think I think they should probably the next time around they should. I think everybody that does these endorsements, I think probably should think twice, and just get to know the candidates that are running or rerunning for reelection, and because I just think it's really sad that you go out there and this is the first time I've ever done it, and I've never been elected. And if that's what's going on, you're going out making a bunch of promises, and then the communication immediately stops until 4 years. I just think that's really that's really a poor representation of a city commissioner.
Well, it's what they've experienced. And I think they were very, very vocal about that last night.
Yeah.
We're done. You come ask for our votes and then forget about us. And one of the things that I feel that the support is going to go a different way than what is usual is because I said, look, guys, if we don't endorse you and you happen to win, it's not personal. We're just tired.
Right.
We're just tired, and no matter who gets elected in this race, Susan, and I'll say this for my opponents and myself, no matter who gets elected in this race, the message was very loud and made very, very, very clear. Unfortunately for us, because this is a question that Sam asked, fortunately for us, it was not recorded. The public cannot see the way to get the message across. Brownsville Police Department and firefighters, because we don't have the video. The way to get the message across is to endorse the candidates that have not screwed you over,
Hmm.
that have not lied to you. And I had one officer said, "Tell me last night, Susan, I can't stand you, Erasmo." Literally told me, "I cannot stand you, but I'm going to vote for you." And he told me, he goes, because we're done, we're
But you
tired.
know what? That just shows the honesty that they were talking last night. I mean, they didn't hold back. They
No,
were very passionate, and I loved it because that's the way I am. I mean, and I get criticized for it all the time. That I'm just spilling and spitting out stuff all the time. But they were very passionate last night, and so
passionate.
um, it was I mean, I was taken back. I didn't expect that. I expected an actual forum of questions, but we didn't get that at all. You know, we got an earful of what's been going on, which was great for us because number one, we weren't there to do all those changes, and number two, we know what's going on now. It's like, oh wait, no, 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 this is absolutely wrong. And so it was great for us. It might have been a little uncomfortable for the others that were there, but no one stood up to even make an explanation, to give an explanation on why, you know. And I
No,
don't know if it was because they didn't want to start it, but you had John Cowan there, you had Nerdit there, you had Tetro there, and you had Roy de los Santos and Brian.
the five, the
You
five
had five
commissioners.
commissioners there. So, and no one stood up to give an explanation. Like, this is why, I understand, but this is why we had to do it. I mean, they were just mum when it came to that. And I would love to know why. You know, why are we doing this to our Brownsville Police Department and our EMS and fire?
Yeah, they deserve an answer.
Yeah.
They got none. No answer. Zip. Zero. And look, one of the things that falls upon us now, because we were there, Susan, we now accept the responsibility of taking action, of
Yeah.
fixing this, because I want our first responders out there uh, to know we are committed to working with you, committed, because I'm not going to speak for Susan, but I personally, I'm sure she did as well. I personally accept the responsibility of fixing this for you. I accept the responsibility, but we're going to do it together. Promise you.
Mhm.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We have not lied to you. We have not put you in this mess. We have been vocal about it for some time because we wanted to bring awareness as to the misdoings of these folks. But I accept the responsibility of fixing this alongside with you. I promise. I
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah, I actually talked to the fire and the BPD association presidents last night to make sure that it was actually possible, you know, because they have already done their collective bargaining and their agreement. They've already signed it. Once you open that up, you open it up for a whole world of things that could happen. And I know that they have a huge distrust with the city right now. So opening up is going to be like a risk for them, because then the city, if it's not the people that are in favor of them and they want to be snaky and slide something else in there, they could get in trouble with that. But they definitely did say that we could open and amend just that part. And so the possibility is there. It's just making sure that they understand that the people that are representing them are going to do just that. No snaky, no behind the scenes, no self-interest, no gains, nothing. This is for you, only for you, and this has only relates to insurance and retirement. And it can be done. It
It
could
can be done.
definitely be done, but they need, it could be done today if the current people wanted to do it. But they obviously don't because they voted a different way, and that's okay. And it could be a majority thing. I don't know, but yeah, I agree 100%. My sleeves are rolled up and ready to get in there and change that as soon as possible.
Yes, that is my commitment. That is my promise. And I don't make politician promises. I'm going to get down and dirty on there and make sure that your concerns get corrected immediately, because I don't buy this crap. We don't have any money, because that's what they say. We don't have any money to give you good insurance, good retirement, good wages. We don't have any money. And I made mention of this last night, Susan. But you did have money to piss away 179 million of our dollars. 179 million of our dollars. One project. Besides that,
Look,
you had
I
money
don't,
to,
I don't, I get the whole budgeting thing, Erasmo. I get it, but I don't understand if every time we're at a forum, we're always talking about how we're doing so well with the businesses, with the SpaceX, with all of this coming in, and then the first people you cut is police and EMS and fire.
Doesn't make
That
sense.
makes no, it doesn't make sense. So if we're going in the right direction, which is everything we keep hearing, we're going in the right direction. We're getting this restaurant, we're getting that restaurant, we're getting this plant, we're getting LNG, we're getting SpaceX, we're getting all these things. Well, that's an increase in revenue. Then why in the world would you go and cut safety?
Well,
That that's beyond me. Cut somewhere else. If you
it does.
think you need to cut, you got to cut somewhere else.
So it doesn't make sense. You mean you're
No,
growing, but you're diminishing the safety?
right?
You know, so we don't, because we're growing, we don't need more safety or more resources to those people that keep us safe. Of course we do.
Yeah,
But the other thing that I mentioned, and we could finish with this. I mean, look, in the middle of a pandemic, Susan, they gave their city manager a $25,000 raise. Jessica, John, Nurith, uh, they gave him a $25,000 raise. For what? I mean, what has he done? What did he do for the city of Brownsville that our local first responders don't do every day? We got nothing, guys. Absolutely nothing. We've got a city manager's office that earns $1 million salary, $1 million salary in the office
yeah.
managers.
I can't wait to see the performance evaluations that the city has. Because I get it. We have to have top dollar salaries in the city. I understand that because that's how you get, the real experienced and people in there. But you got to sort of
Hello? I was just about to get a big old chunk of brownie, but Susan cut off. Uh, there, she's back.
yeah. If we're doing it just because we want to give a raise and say congratulations, good job, you were here from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well,
There has to be a performance evaluation based off of what they're doing.
well, Susan, if they were doing that spectacular job, why spend $2.3 million on consultants?
Exactly. That's
And
where the money. That's where the money's being wasted. Absolutely, I agree with it. Everybody that I think it was just you and I don't know who else, but we've said that with PUB, right? PUB, you look at their budget and how much and they're still budgeting for so many third party consulting agencies and people. It's ridiculous.
crazy.
I get it. There's probably some things that are normally general, just like in our field, like in my field, I do consult for policies and procedures, but I don't consult somebody to do my billing and consult somebody to do my nursing and consult somebody to tell me how much I need to give a raise for. It's ridiculous. If I can't do it, then I should get somebody that can.
100%. And Kathy will be back on my show Sunday with improved internet. I'm hoping. I'm ready to come back on. I've got a lot to talk about. Susan, thanks for coming on. Anything other to close?
No, get out and vote. We got to get La Raza to get out and vote, man. Because if not, it's going to be the same old people, the same people running the city. We got to get them out.
Same crap over and over again. Guys, again, thank you to the Brownsville Police Officers Association for holding the forum last night. It was a humdinger.
It really was
a great way to start this next month into our early election. And again, I appreciate y'all having us out there. I appreciate the talks that we had privately, and I'm hoping and hopeful that the right individuals get endorsed this year. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Susan. Guys, have a great day.
We'll talk later.
Tonight at 9 p.m. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.